This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. You're listening to episode number 314, which is the number of career home runs of Reggie Smith, or if you prefer Mason, it's just our pie episode. Yeah, I like that. I'm your host, Deluxe, and today's game will feature the Benchwarmer team of Scott and Mason versus the team of Tako and returning player plus assistant coach for our Patreon team, Jerry Philbin. Jerry, it's nice to meet you. You want to take a minute and remind our listenership about your favorite teams or anything else that's new with you?
Jerry Philbin from Great Court, South Carolina. Diehard U fan plus Pacers, Colts. I'm still hurting over, the finals loss.
It was a good showing, for all things considered. You weren't expecting that going into the season, were you?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
And Halliburton is just amazing. And
yeah,
losing that there at the end, it was rough.
Yeah, for sure.
New with me, nothing much. Just coaching AAU basketball and
nice.
Dealing with teenagers.
Oof. Yeah, that sounded cool until you said that last part.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right. I'm glad to be out of that phase. Tako, how you doing this evening? Do you want to tell us how you're doing and give us a team name?
I'm on summer vacation, so I'm doing splendidly, doing a lot of sitting around and doing as little as possible, and it is wonderful. And I'm actually going to kick it back over to Jerry to give our team name because he's the one that came up with it.
So we were talking, I'm a Colts fan. Taco's a Ducks fan. DeForest Buckner, is a common thing right there. So we decided to go with Bucking the Trend.
Very cool. Bucking the Trend. I like it. All right. Scott and Mason. I'll let Mason go first because I'm thinking he's not the one who had the team name. So,
we had some other stuff in mind, and Scott came up with the best one out of the group. So he'll say that in a little bit. I'm doing well. Summer vacation, so I'm basically staying home with my son all the time. So much fun. He's a mess, but it's wonderful. And that's pretty much all I'm doing.
Whatever, do you want to give us a quick update on what happened last time I hosted a game and you were on? You mentioned that you were trying out for a game show, so I'm curious how that played out.
Yeah, so that first one was a pilot. That didn't, I haven't heard anything back from that. There's another one that I'm trying out for. I'm getting an audition as of time of recording that's coming Monday. So we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, well, keep us posted. Well, on a future episode, you can tell us what happened. Scott, how are you this evening? And what's your team name?
I'm good. I thought you were referring the last time Mason played your game and hated the fourth quarter question.
That is true.
Also hated. I thought that's what you were referring to. But apparently not. Can't see DeForest before the trees, maybe? Like that, I don't I'm good. I'd like to actually, since this is our pie episode, I'd like to go around rapid fire after I give the team name and get everyone's favorite pie. But before that, the Pelicans made a trade this past week. Mason and I always try to have a New Orleans themed team name. They acquired Sadiq Bey and Jordan Poole in a trade. So because of that, they are now freshly dubbed, trademarked by the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, the Poolikins, which will be our team name for tonight. And also, I'm a chocolate cream pie person.
I'll just quickly say pecan or pecan, depending on what part of the country you're from.
Both of those pronunciations hurt my ear, but okay.
Wait, let's hear you say it.
Pecan.
Oh, pecan. That also works. Sure. I never thought about any pronunciations. All right. We've got our teams and we're running late. So let's get going. Let's kick it over to Dan for our rule read.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Today's first quarter is going to be pre and post game.
Pre and post game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, what all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, The answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points.
Question number 1. Common term for the baseball off-season period when trades are discussed, dating from an expression from where baseball fans might gather during the cold off-season. And a term for a wager where the sportsbook predicts a number for a certain statistic, and then bettors wager whether the actual number will be higher or lower.
All right, David, we're going to check in.
All right, the Poolikins have checked in. Bucking the trend?
Yeah, Jerry, you just said the second half is over under, which I agree with, and the first half I believe is the hot stove. So that would pair nicely. Yeah, so hot stover under. Check it in.
And the Poolikins?
Same answer. Hot stover under.
Well done. Well done. Let's move right on to question number 2. The most recent pitcher to win the Cy Young Award in both leagues. And after Barry Bonds and Carlton Fisk, he has the most home runs after the age of 40, finally retiring in 2024.
Oh, I think I got it, Mason, but I don't want to just keep getting all of these and not letting you play. So,
Here, give me a moment to think about it.
yeah, I'm treating you like a guest.
Thanks for humoring me, Scott.
We'll check in.
All right, Bucking the Trend is checked in. The Poolikins, you guys can talk it out.
Well, Scott has it. I have no idea on either end. I'll be honest with you. I have nothing.
Okay. All right. So the pitcher won his Cy Youngs with the Rays and the Padres.
Oh, Blake Snell. I forgot about him.
So I'm sure that'll get you to the second part.
Oh, yes. All those famous people start with Snell. Jason Snelling, you remember him?
I do remember him.
I must be having a massive
Mariners legend, DH. Also played for Baltimore.
Oh,
Texas.
Nelson Cruz. Really? He just retired last year? I feel like it was.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Did.
Okay.
So, David, we're checking in with Blake Snelson Cruz.
All right. And Bucking the Trend.
Yeah, we got stuck a little bit too long on trying to fit something with Max Scherzer, but then we did come around to the same answer, Blake Snelson Cruz.
Both teams are receiving points. Well done. I'm glad everybody got there. Wasn't supposed to be tough yet. Okay, question number 3. This might be tough for Scott and Mason. I apologize in advance. Question number 3. Spanish driver who finished 5th in 2024 in the F1 championship standings, and how the 2017 World Series champs will forever be branded.
We're going to check in.
All right. Bucking the Trend is checking in. This ought to be entertaining. Poolikins, your turn to talk it out.
How do you think they're branded? What do you think? Like, is it just cheaters?
I don't know. I don't know what the.
That's the only way for us to try to get it right. Is
even then though, are we going to be able to know the name of that person?
No, but I could possibly back into it with a name, a Spanish name. But yeah, I'm just not sure if there's like an actual term that we're looking for the second part.
What about like asterisk?
Oh, like the Houston Asterisk. So it could be, yeah.
I mean,
so it's ending in ass then, the driver.
Great.
See, I was thinking if it's cheaters, then it could end in like chi. Christina Cheaters. But I don't think she's a Spanish driver.
I mean, unless it's like the trash can banging, is it going to be some reference to that? Like,
yeah. Again, I'm just not sure exactly what the branding is for the.
All right,
I think it could certainly be the asterisks.
I'm gonna have to put you out of your misery. Let's get a made up answer.
We could go with David's favorite player, Tony Armas, and go Tony Arm asterisks.
There we go. That's it.
There you go. That's what we're gonna go with.
Let's go back over to Bucking the Trend.
All right, so we instantly knew it was the Astros and the cheating scandal, but cheaters doesn't really fit for a Formula One driver. So Tako came in with the Astros being sign stealers. And he knew all the F1, so I'll let him talk because I have no idea on the F1 side.
Yeah, I kind of got to the first half first because there's only 2 Spanish drivers in F1. Fernando Alonso wasn't it, but Carlos Sainz is the other one who was racing for Ferrari last year, and he is exceedingly handsome. And so we checked in with Carlos Sainz Steelers.
One team is receiving points. Yeah, I heard Tako mention on some recording that he really was fond of Carlos Sainz, so I decided to work him into a pre and post game.
He's a nice boy. Let's just leave it at that.
Sure. Most of the
I
drivers
even had to ask if it was pronounced like Sainz because I have no idea.
Yeah. Yep. Carlos Sainz Steelers. All right. Question number 4. This one might be, a Josh Eye-roll territory. You might have to squint a little bit to make this one work, but I think you'll like it. What Chad Gable's alter ego might open if he emulates Steve Austin when he gets mad?
All right, Scott, I'm just gonna sit here. You can treat me like a guest.
I'm checked in.
All right, we'll pull in some very fast check-ins. Bucking the trend. Time to talk this out.
This is very good. Yeah, Jerry, you're right on with Chad Gable's alter ego being El Grande Americano.
Not getting the drink out of it. Like,
Well,
I know
what is-
Austin, but
Well, Steve Austin opens a can of whoop ass.
gotcha.
So it's El Grande Americana whoop ass. Check that in.
Sure. And the Poolikins. Let's hear Scott talk about this one.
I don't understand the question because Chad Gable doesn't have an alter ego.
Oh, that's right. Of course.
I don't.
I don't know what
but-
you're talking about.
Yeah, I for the sake of this, will say if he did have one, it would be El Grande Americano. So we have the same answer: El Grande Americana. El Grande Americana. So
Can of whoop
whoop ass. El Grande American. Okay, yeah.
You
know
gotta
what I'm
pronounce
trying to say.
America. You gotta say it like El Grande Americano.
Yeah, exactly. El
all
Grande,
right, I'm from
if you're
Texas.
British,
El
if you're
Grande
British, this
El Grande Americano whoop ass.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, well done. Okay, well, we've come to the end of our first quarter, and we have scores of Buck in the Trend with a perfect score so far with 100, and the Poolikins just behind with 75.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Today's second quarter is going to be the missing link.
The Missing Link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
Question number 1 of our missing link. Just 2 years after retiring, she topped Sports Illustrated's list of the greatest female athletes of the 20th century. She was also named for the First Lady when she was born.
I mean, I can just list first
There you go.
ladies.
I literally just asked you to do that.
We'll check in.
All right, Buck in the Trend is checked in. Poolikins, yours to talk out.
Mason, you want to flex on your knowledge of first ladies?
I just started with Michelle Obama and went backwards. I'm at Grace Coolidge right now. So
none of these are really working for me, but what might work and it could be a little bit of a trick is what about Mary Lou Retton?
okay,
And the
so
Lou? Because that
because Lou Henry Hoover, we're talking about the 30s. That's Great
you're right.
Depression. That's way too far back. So also, the problem is part of these are not actually the names they were born with, but
Right,
that's
exactly.
that's a whole different.
All right, so if you're thinking greatest female athletes of the 20th century, off the top of your head, like an Olympian,
Babe Dietrichson. That's the first one I would think of.
What first lady is Babe?
No, I
Are
don't
you sure?
think any.
Are you sure? Are you sure Martin Van Buren's wife wasn't Babe Van Buren?
That's not 20th century though, but I mean,
I know. I just wanted to say Babe Van Buren.
okay, so who else are we?
Who else could it be? Like a tennis player?
Yeah, she's in the. If this is a long time ago, she had polio. Does that reference me anything? It was an episode title. It's like she had
Wilma
polio.
Rudolph? Who had
Wilma.
polio?
No, I think it was a joke, but that it was a female. Unless Babe Dietrichson has a first name that's not Babe and it fits this, but like,
I don't know if she topped that list. I know she did everything, but like,
who else? Were
it's
you
probably an
missing?
Olympian, right? It's probably an Olympian. That's what I thought of, like Mary Lou Retton.
But Mary Lou Retton would be too young.
Right.
She would have had to have been like 50 doing it for the math to work out. Like that's.
Hey, that's what gets you on the top of that list.
I'm mad
is it
because I
like-
have the list of names. I just don't know.
What
to
about?
do.
Could this be like Jackie Joyner Kersey?
That would actually be closer to time frame.
Right.
Because she should have been born in the early 60s. That would
I don't
have
know.
she would have to be. Was she born in the early 60s? Is that too?
I feel like she wasn't though. That might be our best shot at an answer that works though.
We're
We need
there.
Ede's book really is the problem. We're gonna check in with Jackie Joyner Kersey.
And bucking the trend. What'd you have?
Damn it, Scott. We sat there forever and was like, if you guys look into this, we started off, I had Nancy in my head, and Tako came back with that's going to be too late, with her retiring in the late 90s. And then he came in with First Ladies of Lady Bird Johnson and Jackie Kennedy, and we immediately jumped in with Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Both teams are receiving points, and I'm really glad you got there. Jerry, I know it might be frustrating as a player, but I can tell you when you host these games, you sit here and just hope that people get to the right answers. So,
right.
So yeah, I mean, the reason I put it was just 2 years after retiring is because I was trying to give you a time frame because she was about 40-ish, maybe young 40s in 2000 when the list would have come out, which would have backed you up to Jackie Kennedy Onassis. And yeah, it is Jackie Joyner Kersey. She was incredibly dominant in the Olympics and the heptathlon, especially, which is obviously a cross-discipline kind of event. But she also played basketball at UCLA. She's the most famous Jackie who went to UCLA. Oh wait, no, except for Jackie Robinson. Oh well done to both teams.
I like how Scott and Mason just like started discussing did they retire in the late 90s part after talking about Babe Didrikson Zaharias for a considerable amount of time, who I'm pretty sure died in the 50s.
Yes. So by the way, just so you know, Babe Didrikson Zaharias was number 2 on Sports Illustrated's list. Jackie Joyner Kersey was number 1. So Babe Didrikson Zaharias was incredibly dominant. I think she was when I think somebody had a list of the top women athletes of the first 50 years of the century, and she was definitely number 1 then. Question number 2 of our missing link: the only player in Major League history to have 7 consecutive seasons with at least a 300 batting average, 100 runs batted in, 100 runs scored, 100 walks, and 20 home runs. He accomplished this despite the fact that the middle of the 7 seasons was cut short by a player strike.
I need to see the David Lux stats here.
That's rough.
This is Tim Kirchin level stats we got here.
The Tim Kirchin of the podcast right here.
Yeah. He's the only person on a Wednesday with their shoelaces untied to go around the bases while it snowed.
We're going to check in.
All right. Bucking the Trend has checked in. The Poolikins. You have about 30 more seconds to put this together.
Yeah, you said Frank Thomas. He does have 2 MVPs in there.
I mean, yeah, so we're just trying to figure someone in the first, like 1990 to 1997-ish.
Assuming that the strike.
It's not the strike in the 80s.
Yeah,
we don't even know what year for sure.
Yeah,
to pin it around.
I think I like Frank Thomas. He does have the 2 MVPs in there. He did walk a lot. He hit over 300. I think let's go with Thomas. I think I like that the most of all the names.
Okay, we'll check in Frank Thomas.
Right, and Bucking the Trend.
We went a different direction. We talked about the 90s strike, and the first thought was Tony Gwynn, but we ultimately settled on the player strike being the 81 strike. It's come up on the podcast before, the home run leaders in the 81 strike. And this guy kind of fit the bill of having the power and average combo. We checked in with Mike Schmidt.
Well, one team is receiving points, and I specifically use the phrase cut short because the 81 strike was the middle of the season, was the middle third. So it could not be that. Plus, Mike Schmidt was not a 300 hitter typically. So I know I'm the only one on the podcast who was old enough to remember this, but the correct answer is the big hurt, Frank Thomas. Yeah. So in 1994, you guys were thinking about it exactly right. 1994 would be the middle of this 7th season when the strike happened. And when the strike came, Frank Thomas had only played 113 games, so he's roughly 2/3 of the season. And he already had 106 runs, 101 RBIs, and 109 walks. It's ridiculous. I mean, he was on pace for 150 in all of those. And of course, he won the MVP that year, and he was unanimous MVP in 93. So yep. Frank Thomas is correct. Mike Schmidt, I think he just went back too far. But anyway.
I wasn't even thinking Frank Thomas.
Yeah, and he was the walks were sort of the giveaway with him. He had unbelievable plate discipline. I mean, he was the guy before Bonds came along who would just have these unbelievable on base percentages. He was just.
When I think 300, I immediately went to Tony Gwynn, and I was like,
Yeah, the problem is Tony. Right. Well, the problem with Tony Gwynn is that he hit too high in the lineup. He didn't have that many homers, but he also didn't probably have that many RBIs. The walks I would believe, and the runs I would certainly believe, but If I remember right, I think Gwynn hit leadoff some of the time, if not second. I got to go
It was
back and look.
definitely
Yeah, I think he
second
did.
for
Second,
towards
yeah.
the end, but I don't.
But you know,
know.
guys who were second just they don't get as many RBI opportunities as the third, fourth, fifth guys, obviously. So
Well, that's why I was thinking Craig Biggio too. And
Oh,
it
that's a
was the
good
same
pull.
thing. I
same
was kind of
problem.
like the 100
Yeah.
ribbies,
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. Well, our theme linked answers thus far are Jackie Joyner Kersey and Frank Thomas. Question number 3. The first player born in the 1990s to be drafted by an NBA team, despite the fact that he had played his first EuroLeague game 2.5 years earlier.
Me too.
We'll check in.
The Pooligans have checked in. Bucking the trend. Your turn to talk it out.
Hey, so we came up against 2 draft sickos in a draft question.
That's true.
So
So it's got to be around the 08
yeah, because
draft?
18 if they were drafted in the 90, or if they were
Mhm.
born in 90.
Right. Then
If they were still playing, it'd be about 17 years in the league right now.
somebody who was like in EuroLeague at like 16, 15, 16 and then got drafted by an NBA team
And they always start young over there.
in 18 or 19. That makes sense. Trying to think who were the
How long has Gobert been in the league?
a while, but I feel like he's not till 20 like 13 somewhere in there. He's a little later. I feel like the 08 09 drafts are like Gallinari or Ibaka. Rubio?
Yeah, he went to the Wolves really early.
Yeah, he was what, 5th pick in 09? He was in the 08 Olympics for Spain.
And he was young.
Yeah, I kind of like I think that's our best bet. I can't
I like it.
I like him better than any of the other people I talked about.
Yeah, I do too.
Check it in.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll check in Ricky Rubio.
And Pooligans.
Yeah, so just having to do the math, we're thinking about someone drafted in the late 2000s would be a EuroLeague guy. So first thing I thought of, because no 09 draft, would be Ricky Rubio, and Scott was fine with it. We couldn't really think of anyone else. It made more sense, so that's what we checked in with.
Yep, both teams are receiving points. The extra hint there was just that he was drafted, as Tako pointed out, 5th overall in 2009. He started playing the top EuroLeague, and he was a few days after his 16th birthday.
Yeah.
He started playing.
Mhm.
So, and he was pretty famous for that. So, well done to both teams. He was born October 21st, 1990. So there you go.
Mhm.
Our themed linked answers thus far are Jackie Joyner Kersey, Frank Thomas, and Ricky Rubio. Question number 4. The last pure shooting guard to win the Men's Wooden Award. He has played for 5 teams in only 9 seasons, and until Duncan Robinson was the fastest player to 1,000 career three-pointers, doing so in only 350 games.
100%.
We'll check in.
Okay, super fast check-in by the Pooligans. Bucking the trend, you get to talk it out.
Pure shooting guard to win the Wooden Award. Played for 5
I was
teams
trying to
in
look at it on the
9
other side, and I was
seasons.
thinking Steph, but he wasn't a shooting guard.
No.
Ray Allen came from UConn.
5 teams in 9 seasons. Fastest player to 100 career threes. Okay.
Fastest player to 100 career threes would be like 4 games
Sorry, 1,000 career
in the modern NBA.
Jesus Christ. Scott's just dragging my ass tonight. David saying he has played makes me think he's still a current player.
Another one that's moved around a lot is Buddy Hield. And he did.
Oh, you know what? That's a great call. I bet that's it. Because he's definitely way up on that list of career threes.
He was a shooting guard at Oklahoma.
Was a shooting guard. He almost certainly won the Wooden Award. He won it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he won it that year that he knocked Oregon out of the Elite Eight that I'm still upset about, which I think was around 2015, 16, somewhere in there. So that would track for 9
And I
seasons.
know he's been with Indiana. He's with Golden State now.
He was with the Sixers. He started with the Pelicans. He was with the Kings. Beautiful. Yeah. Check in Buddy Hield. Great call, Jerry.
All right. And the Pooligans?
Yeah, I had this right away. Yeah, I can say Pelicans legend because he didn't even play a full season because he got traded in the DeMarcus Cousins trade. Is Buddy Hield.
You mean Pooligans legend? Oh, I guess that was
Yes.
before the Pooligans.
No,
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
No.
All right. Well, both teams are receiving points, and I think that the teams are starting to smell a theme here. So we'll just move quickly on to question 5. What is the specific team color that is used by the last NFL team to change their name and the only NHL team to win the Stanley Cup the year after they moved?
We'll check in.
All right. Once again, the Pelicans have checked in extremely quickly. Sorry, bucking the trend, but it's yours to talk out.
So are they only changing like their mascot or the city, or basically move was the Raiders?
Right, but they didn't change their name.
No, it would have been the Ravens from the Browns, right?
Mhm. Well, it's the
Okay,
color
it's the color.
used by the last team, so it would be the
Orange or black or brown.
mhm. Or if we're talking the Ravens, it's purple or gold or well, I mean I also like and I'm almost positive they have the theme. So what's the most I'm just going to name the theme now because I'm pretty sure Scott and Mason already have it. What's the most
Hopefully.
obvious Will Ferrell character we can think of?
It'd be burgundy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah. Oh, of course. It's because it's the Commanders.
Yes.
And then
So
only NHL team to win the Stanley Cup the year after they moved. Which NHL team? I don't know. I don't think it matters. I think you're right. I think the answer is burgundy because the Commanders part makes sense.
Is that a check-in?
I don't need to think about hockey. I think it's just burgundy.
yeah, it's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll check in burgundy.
All right, and let's go back to Pelicans for their answer to the question.
We didn't even think about the sports part. I think the other one might be the Avalanche because they have burgundy. That's my first thought. Let's name it, but I didn't even think about the sports part. We had the theme, so we just went with the only color that made sense. So we went with burgundy.
Both teams are receiving points, and yeah, that's exactly right. It is the Avalanche and it is the Commanders, and they both use the color burgundy. So our themed linked answers in total are Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Frank Thomas, Ricky Rubio, Buddy Hield, and Burgundy. Well, one team just revealed that they just got the answer on the 5th question. The other team got it sometime earlier, but because of the way Zoom does chat now, I can't sync it up to the question log, so I have no idea when they got it. I just think it was around the 3rd question, but I'm not sure. So why don't we turn it over to the Pelicans to break down what the theme is and how they got it.
Yeah, I got it once Mason came up with Ricky Rubio for that question. I was going through Jackie, Frank, and Ricky, and I was like, after the first two of Jackie and Frank, I was like, is this going to be people named Robinson? But then Swiss Family didn't come up, so I figured that
just a matter of time.
Yeah, that couldn't be. That's the
I was
5th one,
leaning
right?
Brooklyn
On
What
that.
neutral country wins a lot of downhill skiing?
Yeah, exactly. So then I was like, well, which R&B group is this? And I was trying to go through. I'm like, it's not the Jacksons, it's not Belle Biv DeVoe. There's one from each of those, but that doesn't work together. And then I just kept, for some reason, I just kept going, Jackie, and then Jackie Moon popped into my head. And then I looked through and I went, oh, okay, yep, Jackie Moon, Frank the Tank. I'm honestly surprised that Jackie Moon and Ricky Bobby went so early in this missing link. But I was like, oh, Jackie and Ricky sounds like Will Ferrell. So then it just made sense. I think you missed an opportunity with Chaz since he's Chaz in 2 movies, but we checked in with the theme of Will Ferrell characters.
And that is the correct theme. And there were a lot to choose from. I wrote this from Burgundy going backwards, and I was like, which ones would be the most revealing? I felt like Buddy is one of his most iconic roles.
That's where I got it at.
Right. And then I was just like, because once you get to Buddy, it seems really obvious. The only advantage that Frank and Jackie have is that they're common enough names that you might be thrown off the scent. But yes, I almost did a question, which was going to be a WrestleMania 3 question, where the answer was going to be Ricky Steamboat and Bobby the Brain Heenan, so I could get Ricky and Bobby in the same. But
that'd be cool.
I almost did that for you. But anyway, well done to both teams.
When we originally had the wrong answer of Mike Schmidt, we were totally on the Jackson 5 with Jackie and Mike.
Yeah.
We're like, we're going to have a Tito Fuentes question.
That's right.
And a Jermaine Dye and a Marlon
and a
Marlon somebody.
Florida Marlins.
Yeah.
You know that.
Marlon Bird.
Mm-hmm.
No, he would do the they changed from the state to just the city in their name.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Anyway, now we're gonna write David style games. Okay, so after the 2nd quarter, we have scores of the Pelicans at 275, now in the lead, and bucking the trend, still within striking distance at 230 points. That will bring us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
All right, Mason, this is for you. This is the return of Dad Jokes meets the Benchwarmers. Each answer is going to be a popular idiom or proverb. For example, if I said, make sure quarterbacks Norm Van Brocklin, Dan Fouts, Joey Harrington, Marcus Mariota, and Bo Nix are all properly lined up, your answer would be simply make sure your ducks are in a row. Or it could be like this. I'll trade you the Memphis basketball coach for your opinions, and your answer would just be a penny for your thoughts. So here we go. Question number 1. If the NFL team that has been around the longest without winning a Super Bowl finally wins, this is how much each player would receive as a bonus.
We'll check in.
All right. Buck and the Trend is checked in. Hooligans, this is for you.
I feel like I just came to this. At first, I was thinking the Cardinals,
That's what I was thinking too.
but I don't think
Oh,
it's
I
them.
just got
It's
it.
the
I
Lions.
just got it. Lion.
The lion's share.
Lion
right?
share.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
just-
it. Just a lion's share. Jay, but we're going to check in with a lion's share.
All right. And Buck and the Trend?
We also checked in with the lion's share.
Well done to both teams. And I should say before we get to the next 2 questions, I'm going to grade the answers extremely, extremely liberally. So don't beat yourself up for the perfect wording. So here we go. Question number 2. It seems like a bad idea to invite Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen to be on the Olympic team in 2008 or 2022, but then let them run amok in a store outside the Olympic Village.
We'll check in.
The Poolikins have checked in, so Buck and the Trend gets to talk this one out.
Jerry, you're right on the Bulls thing, but the 2008 and 2022 Olympics were in Beijing, so I'm guessing this is bull in a china shop. You all
Okay.
right with that?
Yeah.
All right, check it in.
All right. The Poolikins, what did you guys have?
Yeah, I have the same thing. I just putting the parts together, Bulls, and then to figure out what 08 and 22 had in common. They're from China. And yeah, so Bulls in a China shop.
That's right. Bull in a China shop or Bulls in a China shop, 100%. Well done to everybody. All right, question 3, otherwise known as the reason we write the round. The age-old question. If the Stanford mascot breaks into the empty house of its most famous alumni golfer, and then the mascot trips, would anyone
Oh
know?
my God.
Oh my God, check in.
Okay, Buck and the Trend has checked in almost immediately. The Poolikins, if you have to, you can talk this out.
No, we're good.
How do you want to word it?
If a tree falls
No, in the woods.
in the
That's
woods.
golfer.
Oh,
Not
Oh,
in
sorry.
DeForest Buckner. If a tree falls in DeForest Buckner and nobody hears it, is he still a defensive lineman?
I've never heard a tree falls in the woods. I've always heard tree falls in the forest, but okay, that might just
And-
be a regional
yeah.
thing. If a tree falls in the woods,
I mean, it's just like,
It says
does
just-
it make a sound?
sure. I guess it's some form of that, whatever
If
form
it-
David
yeah.
used for this.
Yeah, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody sees it, does it make a sound? Check that in.
I'll accept that. All right.
Okay.
Buck and the Trend, what you got? Taco?
Yeah, we also checked in with if a 20-year-old high on cocaine falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it. Does anyone notice?
Right. That's the less known version of the idiom. But yes, I would accept any form of a tree falls in the woodses, because it's his house and no one is there to hear it. Doesn't make a sound. That is correct. Well done. Way to fly through my halftime. I appreciate that.
That was very silly, but great.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'll accept the silly part for sure. Okay. So at the end of halftime, we have scores of the Poolikins with 350 points and Buck and the Trend with 305 points. That will take us to the third quarter, which will be David versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath. This quarter will consist of 5 pairs of questions, one easier, David, and one harder, Goliath. After hearing both questions, each team will pick one of the 2 questions to answer, either David or Goliath. Each David question is worth 20 points, and each Goliath question is worth 50 points.
No particular theme here either, just 3 random David and Goliath questions. So here we go. Question number 1. David, earlier this year, what 2 players became the first 2 reigning MVPs to hit home runs in the same game? Goliath, what's the only other time the 2 reigning MVPs hit home runs in the same game? The 2 played less than 20 miles apart.
We're going to check in.
All right. Bucking the Trend has checked in. The Poolikins, you got about a minute.
Okay, I think we'll get there in a minute. It's just I think we need to figure out
which combo we want to go with.
earlier this year.
So, I mean,
Judge and Otani.
and I mean, there's only 4 pairs that we have of less than 20 miles. Well,
you mean team pairs? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the other one would be. No, I just thought about Baltimore and Washington, but they're not going to be it.
Baltimore hasn't had an MVP
and Washington
in quite some time, and Washington hasn't had a team for a while.
Right,
so
right, yeah.
I think it's less likely to be them.
So it's not Mets, Yankees.
It's not Mets. Don't have an MVP.
Right. So Angels, Dodgers.
Angels. So Angels. Trout and Bellinger could be. Mo Vaughn was 95, but the Dodgers did not have an MVP in 95. So that won't work.
White Sox and Cubs, I don't think
there's crossover. Vladimir Guerrero in 04. No, because Beltre did not win the MVP in 04, even though he should have. So that doesn't work.
So I'm still liking what we think is most likely Giants and A's with Bonds and Tejada.
It would have to be Bonds because Giambi's MVP is 2000 and Sosa, I believe, was the MVP in 2000. It could have been Bonds, but I feel like it was Sosa. And then Bonds and Tejada in 02 makes a little bit more sense to me because the Giants went to the World Series. I'm pretty sure Bonds was the MVP in 02, and I know Tejada was the MVP in 02. And I only lean towards that because he knew Tako would be on here, so maybe he's throwing a Bay Area kind of question in here. That's why I like it a little bit more than Trout and Bellinger, I think. You want to go Bonds and Tejada?
I'm good for it. I mean, it lines up, and I could easily see that. So
okay, we're going to check in with Barry Bonds and Miguel Tejada for the Goliath question.
Okay, and Bucking the Trend?
We checked in with the same when you said 2000. It kind of scared me for a second because Jeff Kent won the 2000 MVP for the Giants. So that Kent and Giambi could be an option in 01. But we also checked in with Barry Bonds and Miguel Tejada in 03.
Both teams are receiving points. Well done. Yeah, it was June 20th, 2003. For those that don't remember the exact date, Bonds and Tejada both hit home runs in a game in the Oakland Coliseum. I think back then they were still playing 3 games in Oakland a year and 3 games in San Francisco a year. I don't know what happens when Oakland's playing in Sacramento. But anyway, yeah, so the correct answer is Barry Bonds and Miguel Tejada. Well done. Goliath points for everybody. Okay,
the A's aren't playing in Sacramento. They're just the Athletics. They don't want any mention of Sacramento because John Fisher's a coward.
Yeah, that's true. All true. All right, question number 2. David, what U.S.-born player holds the NBA record for most points in a game? Goliath, what Georgian-born player set the record in March of this year for scoring the most points in a game while playing less than 20 minutes? He scored 34 points in only 19 minutes on March 19th. And by the way, that's Georgian as in the country, not Georgian as in the state. I just want to clarify. Sorry.
We're going to check in.
All right, Bucking the Trend has checked in. Poolikins, you get to talk this out.
Okay. I'm sure I'll know this player.
Same. That's
playing 2K. If you can give me a little bit more, I can get there.
I just remember it's a very long last name.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Which Georgian is he actually referring to?
The country.
Okay, so
it's got probably a lot of
guard, center. Like, do you have a position at all?
I feel like he's got to be a guard in order to get 34 points in 19
Yeah,
minutes,
no, that's true. You're right. That's a good point.
Unless they were just feeding this big dude down the post.
Like, the dude from the Hornets, Micic? No, that's not a long name.
No, it's like
okay.
Geez, it's like I want to say it's like 14 letters long. I don't even know if I can give you I
don't even know if I can say it then.
Yes, that's the problem. Even if I
get it.
It's a super long last name. I just don't remember what it is because I remember the stat. But like I think when he was drafted, I was like, oh, that guy has a long last name, and I just forgot what it was and never thought about it again.
Yeah.
And then I saw his name pop up, and again, I'm like, oh, that's something I probably should remember. It would be really helpful right about now. But
I'm thinking of a guy, but I wouldn't even know how to try to say his name. But it starts with M-Y. And then there's a bunch of other letters.
Oh, Svi Mikhailuk? Is that who you're talking about? That's
probably. Okay,
that's a different guy. No, it's this is
okay. I'm not up on my Georgian-born players. Not since Yuri Welsh retired. Yeah, we're gonna check in for the David answer of Wilt Chamberlain.
All right. And bucking the trend?
Yeah, the only two Georgian-born players that I could name were Zaza Pachulia and Nikolai Skidishvili, and neither of them are anywhere close to active. So we also checked in with the David of Wilt Chamberlain.
Both teams are getting David points, not surprisingly. Mason, you'll be happy to know that this guy's last name has exactly 14 letters. I had to count as soon as you said that. That was stunning. His name is, I don't even know if I want to try to pronounce it because I'm sure I'll brick it, but it is something to the effect of Sandro Mamukelshvili or something to that effect. They call him Mamu. He plays for the Spurs. Just in the last few days, this is dating the podcast, but he signed with the Raptors. But he had this unbelievable, he was Georgia born. I can't remember. He moved a few times and he ended up at one of these sports academies when he was in high school. And then he went to Seton Hall. He was drafted in the second round. But in this game earlier this year, he played 19 minutes and somehow managed to have 34 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. And he's a big, by the way.
Oh wow.
So he had quite a game. Mamu, I think is what they often call him. So anyway, yeah, that was a tough one. I apologize. Okay. Question number 3, our last question of the David versus Goliath round. David, in 2024, what father-son played in the NBA together, marking the first time this has happened in the NBA? Goliath, prior to this, what father and son were the closest in terms of time? Dad finishing his career in 1999 and son starting his career in 2005. Hint, dad and uncle played together on the Orlando Magic in 1999.
We are going to check in.
All right, the Poolikins have checked in. So bucking the trend, you get to talk this out.
Oh boy. Well, David's Braun and Brawny, the greatest marketing stunt there ever was. They could never be the Griffies, let's be honest. There's not a whole lot of information I've got on the 99 Magic. I think that the trope has become Colorado Rockies catchers as like stuff nobody knows about, but I feel like the 1999 Magic feels close in terms
probably
of
name a few people on there. I imagine.
Was Penny still on the Magic in 1999? I have no idea.
I think that's the year before he got traded to Phoenix. I think so.
Oh, see, there you go. So, okay, I know one person on the 99 Magic. I don't have a whole lot of anything. The only thing I like that popped to mind with the Goliath was the Grant family, but I don't think Harvey and Horace are anywhere close to Jeremy and friends. Jerry, I don't know if you have.
They're still on that team.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine just going with David. I don't think any time is gonna help me come up with more people on the 1999 Orlando Magic. So
I agree.
All right, we will check in Braun and Brawny for the David.
Okay. And the Poolikins.
There's a chance Nick Anderson's still on the 99 Magic. I'm almost positive Daryl Armstrong's on the 99 Magic. Keon Dooling, I think, might be on the 99 Magic.
Good name.
Yeah, it's a great name. I could probably name a few more, but I also immediately went right to the Grants when I initially thought I had it. I was like, all right, Horace and Harvey makes a ton of sense playing on the Magic. Then I thought Horace also played with the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. So I think his career went past 1999. So that's what threw me off the scent there. Then I thought, who else was on? I started thinking about the 99 Magic and like the 98 Magic and the 2000 Magic. And I was like, well, I know one guy who was on that team but never played, and he's the lesser known brother. I finished his career with the Magic, and I do remember their son Damian. We checked in with the Goliath answer of the Wilkins family. I believe it's Gerald Wilkins, Dominique Wilkins, and Damian Wilkins.
Both teams are receiving points. Very nicely done, Scott. That is really strong work. I almost created a very, very evil 5-on-3, which is to name the 5 father-son duos that got the closest to playing together, not counting LeBron and Bronny. Oh, Gerald and Damian Wilkins are, of course, number 1. And yes, Neek did finish his career with the Magic, and he didn't. Yes, he did. I mean, he was a shell of his former self.
Yeah.
But the other guys.
How far away are Doc and Austin Rivers?
Okay, so it's interesting. They are not in the top 5.
No, I wouldn't think they are.
But I'll tell you who is in the top 5. A whole lot of juniors. So
Kenyon Martin, David Stockton.
Kenyon Martin and Kenyon Martin Jr. are number 2 on the list.
The Hardaways?
Dell and Steph Curry are number 3. Patrick Ewing and Patrick Ewing Jr. are number 4.
Boy. Wow.
And Glenn Robinson and Glenn Robinson Jr. are number 5. So there are a whole lot of juniors on this list.
That makes sense.
So if you want your kid to follow you to the NBA, just make sure he's called something junior. So Anyway, all right. Well, at the end of the third quarter, we have a little bit more of a gap, but still surmountable. We have Bucking the Trend at 405, just behind the Poolikins, who are at 475. And that will bring us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
So, our fourth quarter today, pretty simple theme. Question number 1 will be team accomplishment in MLB. Question number 2 will be team accomplishment will be NFL. Question number 3, you guessed it, team accomplishment in college football. And question number 4, team accomplishment, Big Four. It's time for the teams to place their wagers.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1, team accomplishment, MLB. There is only one MLB team that has not had a 30-plus home run hitter in the last 10 years. In fact, they haven't had one in the last 20 years. Name the team.
Check in.
Right. Bucking the Trend has checked in. The Poolikins, please talk this out. And
It's the Giants. Why else would he check in so quickly?
Can't be. Someone had to hit.
Why can't it be? Who? Brandon Belt? 20 years is Bonds. And then Aubrey Huff wasn't hitting 30 homers for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Posey ever got to 30.
What could be? My first thought was Marlins, but then I thought of Giancarlo.
No,
yeah, exactly. The Marlins have been terrible.
Ozuna, Yelich, all those guys. Dan Ogla. Again, we could just do what Josh hates and go through every team, and I can tell you the last 30 home run hitter.
I mean, we can eliminate a lot of the big ones.
You are right that Josh hates that.
What about the A's?
No, Matt Olson, Chris Davis.
Yeah, I forgot. Wow, yeah, okay.
Brent Rooker hit over 30 last year. So
yeah.
Dude, the Giants really haven't had a prolific power hitter. Like, sure, a guy could have stumbled to 30.
Yeah.
But
not endeavors, so maybe they get there.
I can't really think of anyone from them who think of those World Series teams. It's like all these scrappy, Angel Pagan type guys.
Yeah, Pablo Sandoval didn't get to 30.
No, he probably got close, but I don't know that he did. And same with Posey, right? I think Posey won the MVP with I don't know. I'm sure Tako will tell us, but I don't know. Did he 28 homers maybe? Did he max out at?
Yeah.
And then I can't really think of someone. And then the post World Series teams have had no one.
Yeah, Hunter Pence didn't get to 30. I'm just trying to think of guys on those those teams, but yeah, I just.
And again, if we're wrong because some rando got a 30 homer season, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because every other team I'm thinking of clearly has somebody in the last few years.
All right, we're gonna check in with the San Francisco Giants for 100 points.
All right, and speedy check in. Taco, what'd you have?
Yeah, we should have waited longer just to throw a little poker face at it. But yeah, it's the Giants. I think Brandon Belt had 29 a few years ago. That was the closest we got. But yeah, it's kind of like the defense against the dark arts position where Barry Bonds retired and cursed us to not have a power hitter for the expanse of human history. I mean, it's fine. We got 3 world titles out of it. We're okay. Yeah. We also checked in with the San Francisco Giants for 100 points.
Both teams are getting their 100 points. And yeah, I mean, Scott, I think you were all over it, and Taco backed it up. But I mean, it's Brandon Belt had 29, Matt Chapman had 27, Hunter Pence had 27, Aubrey Huff had 26, Ray Durham had 26, Mike Yastrzemski had 25 in 2021. You had Kung Fu Panda had 25 in 2009. I mean, there's just a whole lot of guys who hit in the 20s, and
Joe Panic had 12 one year.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, it's not really an impressive. It's not a home run park is part of the problem.
No, it's it makes it all the more impressive that Bonds hit 73 in that park because it is one of the pitchers' parks of the modern era.
Yeah. They also just don't have. They really just haven't had power hitters.
No,
yes,
they haven't
the park,
developed
but it's-
anybody through their minor league system. They haven't been able to sign anybody. We missed on
Exactly.
Judge, we missed on Harper, we missed on Ohtani, we missed on everybody. That's why the Devers deal was so surprising.
I think
Yeah.
the hope is Bryce Eldridge, who's like their top prospect.
I would think the hope would be
Can
Devers.
match.
Yeah, he's still at least a year away though.
Wouldn't you think Devers would have the best shot? I mean,
I think so, but
Yeah.
also it actually sets up well for Devers because he's such an opposite field hitter,
Yeah.
and it is easier to hit home runs to left field than to right field. Again, which makes Bonds all the more remarkable.
Yes. Well, he just hit so many into the cove. Yes. All right. Well, question number 2, team accomplishment, NFL. Starting in 2009 and ending in 2019, this team went either 7-9, 11-5, or 13-3 every year.
Okay, we'll check in.
Republicans have checked in. Bucking the trend? I need an answer pretty quickly here.
We're just trying to think of who was consistently mid or better during that time period and like didn't have just like a down season or a terrible season.
What year did Brady leave?
Brady left in what, 20? Right around then? Would the Pats have had any 7-9 seasons in that time span?
Yeah, that I don't think.
I mean, you said, your thoughts were the Vikings and the Seahawks, which I don't hate either of those answers. I can't remember a time when either of them had like a
I would lean
really,
Seahawks more than Vikings.
I can't think of a time when they had just like a truly awful season in that time span. Because yeah, you're right. They had Russell pretty much the whole time. He got drafted in 20.
I think it was 08.
No, he was later than that. He was 11. He was the 11 draft, I think. But those last 2 years were probably Hasselbeck years. So it's not like they weren't without a quarterback that whole time period. So, all right, we'll check in the Seattle Seahawks for 100 points.
All right. And the Pooligans.
All you.
Well, yeah. So 2009, just trying to think of that season, either teams that were just mediocre or made the playoffs very good. I think 2009 and 2019 were both 13-3 seasons, if I remember correctly. And then it would have been 11-5, 7-9, 7-9 because the defense was always bad. I think this is the New Orleans Saints because it just fits their description of bad defense, Drew Brees carrying them, or making it to the playoffs, or getting a first-round bye because they had quite a few of those too. So we went with the Saints for 100.
One team is receiving points, and yeah, I felt like since I asked a question about the San Francisco Giants for Tako, I had to turn around and ask a question for Mason. This was my peace offering based on my last game when all these same Clydes were on the game. So I decided I'd be nice this time around. So the Saints records were 13-3, 11-5, 13-3, 7-9, 11-5, 7-9, 7-9, 7-9, 11-5, 13-3, and 13-3. I just thought it was great. You know, an odd number of wins in every season, and obviously Mason was all over it for obvious reasons. Okay, we don't need to talk about our score, so let's move on to question number 3. Team accomplishment, college football. All right, until last year, there were only 2 Power 4 conference football teams that had never had 10 wins in a season. One had their first 10-win season in school history last year, getting their 10th win in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Still cracks me up. Sorry. The other one still has not had a 10-win season, though they did pull off a major upset in October. Name both.
Okay, we'll check in.
The Pooligans have checked in, bucking the trend.
I think we just figured it out.
Yeah, and then this was all Jerry.
So the first one I know 100% because they beat my team. That's Iowa State. Cam Ward got his record. He came out, and then they criticized him the rest of the time for coming out of the game. The second one has been a traditional doormat pretty much every single year, and I just thought of it right at the end, and they pulled off the biggest upset in their school's history, and it's Vanderbilt beating Alabama. So we checked in with Iowa State and Vanderbilt for 100 points.
All right. And the Pooligans?
Yeah, so I remembered it was Miami in the Pop-Tart Bowl, and I had to remember who beat them. Yeah, so it was Iowa State. I think Brock Purdy probably got them pretty close to 10 wins. It's probably 8 or 9 at some, maybe multiple times when he was there. But yeah, so Iowa State. And then I was thinking, for some reason, Northwestern kept popping in my head, but I think they did end up getting a 10-win season in the last few years because they were always like not great. But when we started thinking about upsets and big schools to lose, then I remembered Vanderbilt did beat Alabama and it was October. So everything lined up for that. So we also went with Iowa State and Vanderbilt for 100.
Both teams are receiving points, well broken down. Yeah, so it's kind of amazing. So now we're down to Vanderbilt as the only team that's never had a 10-win season, and it's getting harder to do because they keep lengthening the season. So if anybody
Yeah.
just has any kind of run, they're going to get to 10 wins. The other thing that I found really funny about Vanderbilt, I was reading about the program and stuff. There are 16 teams now in the SEC, so bear that in mind. So at the beginning of the season, everybody knows they do these preseason polls of the writers or coaches or whoever the hell it is. So in the preseason poll in 2024, Vanderbilt finished 16th out of 16 teams, which is not really that surprising, except for what is surprising is that they got 2 first place votes. And I just thought that was so hilarious. Normally, when a team is like consensus 16th team out of 16, I mean, I'm just dying to know who voted for them.
We
Literally,
did it as a
2
joke,
first place votes.
probably.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I mean, maybe, but
Two Vanderbilt alum.
right, could be. I mean, it's
It's our
you never
year.
know. But anyway, all right.
And then their
So,
quarterback's going around talking all kind of smack about the Big Ten right now. So
oh, really? Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Well, Vanderbilt should jump to the Big Ten. They might have better luck. All right. Question number 4, team accomplishment, Big Four. Okay. What Big Four team recently became the only Big Four team ever to make the playoffs at least 8 times in a 10-year span, but lose in the first round every time?
Okay, we'll check in.
All right. The Poolikins have checked in, bucking the trend last time to talk this out.
Oh God. Okay, so we're going on the assumption that recently means they were in the playoffs in 2025. We just didn't even think about MLB or NFL because of wild card nonsense. Like we're just thinking we're just thinking first round. Like even if we're wrong, that's what we're going on because that's all we have left at this point. So we're down to basketball or hockey. I think we've eliminated all the NBA teams. So we're just kind of on which NHL teams lost in the first round this year. And we're pretty sure the Devils lost in the first round. We're pretty sure the Canadiens lost in the first round. I think the Blues, Jerry, you said the Blues did, and I think the Wild did. So I think of those 4 teams, who do we like the most as a team that made the playoffs 8 times in 10 years and didn't advance?
You mentioned something about the Blues.
The Blues won a title. Did they win a title in the last 10 years? I think they did. I feel like they won it in like 19, somewhere in there. I can't remember. So maybe
I kind of like the Canadians or the Wild.
I don't hate either of those either. It's just a matter of which one we want to choose. Yeah, should we, because it's the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, should we just say let's pick too much Minnesota and go with the Wild?
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to check in with the Minnesota Wild for 100 points.
And back over to the Poolikins.
I love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So we kind of went through the same process. We started with NBA, couldn't think of anything. We didn't want to waste any brain power in NHL because we weren't going to get anything anyway. So then we went to NFL and we kept cycling around teams. And we're going to check in with the Vikings. I don't even know if it's right, but
We wanted to go too much Minnesota.
Too much Minnesota.
Well,
they
there
lost
was
a couple wild card games. So yeah, we went for that for 100. Or sorry, for 31.
for 31 points. Yeah. So first of all, that is amazing. I agree. The first question was kind of for Tako. The second question was for Mason. And the fourth question was, in fact, for the hashtag Too Much Minnesota guys. So one of you is correct. And the correct answer is the Minnesota Wild. So well done.
Nice.
A quick recap. In 16, they lost to the Stars in the first round, 17 to the Blues, 18 to the Jets, 19 they didn't make the playoffs, 20 to the Canucks. So they distribute this patheticness. 2021 the Golden Knights, 2022 to the Blues, 23 to the Stars, 24 they didn't make the playoffs, and this year back to the Golden Knights. So it is in fact the Minnesota Wild, and not surprisingly, this question came to me as a suggestion for one of the hashtag Too Much Minnesota guys. It came from Dan Lundberg in a sort of sad moment. He confessed to me that he's fans of the Minnesota Wild who have lost every year they've been in the playoffs in the last 10 years. So well done. Well done indeed to the buck in the trend. And the Minnesota Vikings, I'd have to think about because
I'm looking at it right now. We're actually not that far off.
Yeah.
They just missed the playoffs a few too many times in that
Right.
span. But lost
we
wild
also-
card, lost
but-
wild card, lost wild card. Oh, they lost the division.
Oh.
But then and of course the amazing thing about all of this is that the Twins have been pretty awful too in the playoffs. So
Yeah, but they just haven't made it a lot.
true.
And they
If
only
this was
played the
the 10
Yankees
years-
anyway.
If this was the 10 years before that, yeah, it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, our game has come to an end, And here are the final scores. Bucking the Trend finished with a very respectable 605 points. But our clipboard captain of the game, who are receiving the coveted Dylan Gabriel Award with 744 points, are the Poolikins. Thanks, everybody. Good game. It was fun. Jerry, what have you got to say for yourself?
You in trouble?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm 0-2. I guess so. I enjoyed it as always. I'm glad I got to get back on here and do it with you guys. I'm ready for college football. So let's go.
Yeah, it's only, what are we in now? By the time this episode drops, we'll be like 3 weeks away from college football season. So
Yeah.
that'll be kind of
Preseason NFL starts in July, end of July.
I
so.
know, it's bananas. Right. So by the time this episode drops,
Yeah.
we'll be already NFL preseason. Anybody else want to throw anything in?
Just a great game, David, which is better than the last one for sure.
I agree.
Mason and I were just on it. We were just really on it this game, like with a lot of good polls and just good research. Jerry, worthy adversary as always. Can't wait to have you back on next time.
You did have some good polls. I think we're going to call you the Pullikins.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Oh,
I like
sorry.
it.
All right.
That Wilkins one. Yeah, I feel good about that.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay, so on behalf of Jerry and all of our patrons and Tako, Scott, Mason, and all the Benchwarmers, I have been David Lux, and will hopefully continue to be David Lux. Thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, and until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at BenchwarmersTP.